We would like to welcome you to an election special, The Race to the White House. We're living dangerously this evening. We're live, and we'll be back at 11 Eastern Time to analyze the big debate, as Greta said. But first, there was a secondary verbal shootout in California that just ended. And joining us now from Washington with an assessment, the anchor of Special Report, Bret Baier. Did you get anything out of that first debate, Bret?
Hey, Bill, a couple of things. One is it's much different environment than we had in Cleveland. You know, it's in the Reagan Library. It was a little odd in that it looked like they arranged the candidates by height almost. So it's staged differently. And it's a smaller venue, so there's not a big crowd. That said, I think Lindsey Graham had a good night in that early debate. He had some one-liners, he had some back and forth, and he had substance. And I think he's probably the winner out of that early card debate.
All right. I was watching the debate in my office here in New York City. I had 2 slices of pizza, and I was trying not to chew that loud so I could hear them. I didn't really hear anything out of the ordinary. All right. It was the standard, here are the problems, here's how I'm going to solve it, except for this from Bobby Jindal. Roll the tape.
My fellow Republicans, let's stop treating Donald Trump like a Republican. If he were really a conservative, and 30 points ahead, I would endorse him. He's not a conservative. He is not a liberal. He's not a Democrat. He's not a Republican. He's not an independent. He believes in Donald Trump.
All right. Now, Jindal has gone after Trump before. Do you think that's a winning strategy?
Well, listen, he has to do something to get on the radar because his poll numbers are really in the basement. And he's been trying that over the past couple of weeks. I don't know if he stuck the landing here. Jindal did have a really good exchange towards the end of the first debate with Lindsey Graham, talking about how Washington doesn't get things done. Graham fired back that, hey, you have to have the White House, otherwise he's going to veto what we send him. But it was a good exchange. I think the best exchange was between Lindsey Graham and Rick Santorum on immigration, at the end of which Graham said about the late South Carolina Senator Strom Thurmond, he said, Strom Thurmond had 4 kids after the age of 67. If you're not willing to do that, we need to come up with a new immigration system. So, he had some one-liners built in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that's relevant because they weren't anchor babies. Senator Thurmond was an American citizen and his children didn't have any controversy surrounding them. You know, I don't want to be cynical here, but I have to tell the truth, and for 19 years I've been doing that. None of these men have a chance to be president of the United States. None of them. And I don't mind that they're running, but the facade somehow, it might be getting a little tired, and it's only mid-September. Do you disagree?
Well, we have seen huge comebacks before, but I think you're right. To see these guys, these 4 guys, make that comeback from 0
it's just not
or
gonna
1%,
right.
It's just too big of a mountain, one would think, especially
because
in this field.
The field is pretty sophisticated. Trump or no Trump. There's a lot of guys in there with a lot of experience and a lot of name recognition. And, George Pataki was a good governor of New York, but that was a long time ago. Bobby Jindal's a good governor of Louisiana, but it's a small state. I think Lindsey Graham is a very good senator and knows a lot about the world. But, he doesn't have a national profile. They're not going to have the money to get that. And the only way to get attention is to do what Jindal just did, which I don't think really helps him. I think most people know that Donald Trump is a maverick.
Yeah. Well, I think you're right on the Trump attacks. They probably don't go that far. And we've seen Donald Trump defy political gravity so far many times. So any attacks coming from Bobby Jindal probably are not going to stick. You're right. But on Lindsey Graham, he keeps coming back to the fight against ISIS.
Yes.
And on a day where we learn that there are only 4 or 5 U.S. trained Syrian fighters on the ground fighting ISIS.
I know.
Not 400 or 500, 4 or 5 people.
Can I stop you there? I'm going to play that soundbite. Probably on Monday, because tomorrow's going to be a lot of politics, but I might get it in tomorrow. I just want to tell the audience, we don't have it pulled. We should have had it. There's a general, and he's testifying. Congress earmarked $500 million to train Syrians to fight against Assad. 5 of them are ready to go to battle a year later. 5. Now, I'm going to submit to you tonight, Baier, that you and I you and me, whatever you want to say. We could have gotten 15 up and ready. Okay.
Now listen,
for
the crazy
$500
part
million,
so it's $500 million for the program. They've spent $42 million. So let's just do the math.
And then there's 5 guys ready. Now, where are those 5? It's 5 against Assad's army. You know, they're a little outnumbered.
Yeah.
And one of them's named Davy Crockett. I mean, that's good. It's such a farce.
It's amazing.
It is. It's amazing.
And this testimony on Capitol Hill was stunning today. So my point is, in that environment, Lindsey Graham, who's hitting again and again the weakness of this fight against ISIS and the administration and how they're deploying assets and deploying money, makes legitimate points, and I think, can make a difference in a race potentially along the edges.
Okay. Tonight, let's look ahead because you're going to come back at 11. Is that right? You coming back? Now, are you going to take a nap? Do you have a little cot? Because I know this is late for you. It's late.
I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be watching.
All right. So, Bear, we're going to have Bear. We're going to have Crowdhammer. We're going to have Hume. We're going to have all your pals down there. Ted Cruz is going to come in also. He's going to grade himself on the debate. I'm going to ask the senator to grade himself, how he did. But we're going to have a really wild, and I mean that literally, we're going to have a wild 11 o'clock program because I don't care, Bear. See, I'm at the end of my career here. I got nothing to lose.
Throw
I'm
it
like
to the
Trump.
wall.
I'll say anything. I'll do anything. And that's what you can expect at 11 o'clock. But it's a 3-hour debate. And to get through a 3-hour debate, that's like a Jerry Lewis telethon, Look, I'll give you the money, just put on Star Trek.
Yeah.
Last word.
I mean, I hope they have enough breaks, otherwise they need the Reagan Library catheter, because this is going to be really quite something to
I heard
watch.
they're going to have a little outhouse right behind the thing, and they got to zip in there when they're not answering. Anyway, 3 hours. God bless them.